Welcome to Game On. I'm Drew Miller. This is a video series all about promoting small businesses by highlighting the business, celebrity interviews, and today, educating business owners and decision makers on what they can do to help their businesses. I have a great guest today. He brings a massive amount of knowledge to the insurance world and industry. He is the Vice President and General Manager of Special Risks Facilities, who specializes in service solutions for hard-to-place risks. Please welcome Shalay. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you so much, Drew. I really appreciate it.
No, it's we hang out outside of a Zoom interview a couple times, and good times, good dinners, and good conversation. So I appreciate you coming on and talking a little insurance for these business owners.
Absolutely. And just give a little background about myself. I've been in insurance for 15 years and have really just specialized in management liability, cyber, and some professional aspects. So special risk is kind of behind the scenes for a lot of people that might not be familiar with the name. We work with our customers, our insurance agents, like Drew himself. And what we do is we specialize in certain areas to find complex solutions for hard-to-place risks. So any kind of knowledge I can bestow today, I'm honored to do so. Thank you.
No, it's great. I think that you're, like you said, you're an expert. You have a lot of background, and it's a niche thing that you guys do. You're really good at what you do, and I use your guys' services, and I count on your guys' experience to help guide me and help my clients. So, given the COVID-19 situation, it's pretty much disrupted all of our lives in so many different ways, and it's really hit hard in the insurance industry. Let's just kind of give some of these business owners and decision makers a little bit of education. Let's give them, they might not know their coverages they have, what they should have, what they should be looking for moving forward. So let's just kind of give them a little bit of, hey, you know what, this is what we see from the insurance agent and the insurance broker standpoint, and something to give them some actionable steps to move forward with.
Absolutely. So dealing in the current climate that we're in, most companies either elect to or do not purchase directors and officers coverage, employment practices, and these are just very, very important at this time due to COVID-19. Every decision-making process, every decision that a business owner or a board member makes at this time on how to mitigate risk, on how to reopen an office, those decisions can hold them liable. And it's not just the company that can be held liable, it's actually the personal assets of each board of directors. So directors and officers coverage is something that we really try to educate our clients with. And it's a hard market right now. It's because of every decision right now, a lot of carriers are shying away or they don't want to increase limits. So that's one part of the step that we try to educate the business owners. But the other is definitely the employment practices. We tee this up in 3 phases where we originally, when COVID happened, we had the layoffs. So 60 million people on unemployment. We move into now we're a reopening process, but some people are wearing masks, some are refusing to wear masks, and it's creating kind of this hostility bubble in the retail space and for work environments. And then the third one and the final one is going to be the end of COVID-19 and when we do rehire people. Are these businesses going to rehire at 100%? And if not, they're going to have to pick and choose which employees they do want to bring back, which can also lead to discrimination claims for not being chosen to come back to work. So you kind of have the 3 phases of EPLI where your employees are exposed as well as the hostile environment, which can lead back to the business owners as well as the decisions they make for the processes to continue on.
Yeah, it's all about being proactive and not reactive, because the reactive side in insurance can be a price you want, and when the coverages are not there, it's you're on your own. So these business owners that are watching, the viewers, you got to understand that there are precautions and there's steps that you can take right now that that are huge for your business's future. I know a lot of uncertainty right now in a lot of businesses, and it's one of those things that everyone's trying to find a way to stay afloat right now. And I think that everyone's kind of getting more of an understanding of what COVID-19 kind of is, and how they can structure their businesses to kind of to stay afloat. But then it is so important to go into that next step and really kind of set yourself up for the future and say, hey, you know what, we're figuring it out, but we're going to go that step further and make sure that some of these areas that you just talked about, the rehiring and people fighting hostility within the workplace, what can we do to be prepared for that? And I think that that's something that speaking with your agent or and then working with a specialist like yourself that has so much knowledge on this is going to be so vital to their existence in the future.
Yeah, and it's really important to have the right um, policy form in place. I mean, we're seeing, at least on a high end level, new exclusions. So it's really just becoming a very hard market right now, where we really feel like our value to our customers, like yourself, Drew, is to help your clients know, okay, this is we're what we have in place. So getting a second opinion, or really trying to round out your entire accounts is really important at this time.
For sure. I know that before COVID-19 happened, one of the big things that you have a very specialized knowledge in is the cyber coverage, and that's something that has been sneaking up slowly and slowly and become more and more proficient in hacking and just different. I mean, a lot of people use credit cards now. Pretty much everyone is taking a credit card form. And then with COVID-19 right now, people are working from home. So let's maybe touch on the cyber part a little bit before COVID and dealing with COVID now, just kind of some of the things that you guys are looking for, and maybe some of the thing that people watching this are going to say, hey, you know what, I have a cyber policy already, but it's one of those things that cyber is always changing, and they want to make sure that that policy is up to date and has a coverage is protecting them for everything that kind of you're seeing right now and is offered.
Yeah, so cyber, I call, is the wild, wild west. And what I mean by that is, any other insurance, you typically have the same language when you compare from one company to another. With cyber, it's changing monthly. It's changing so quickly with insuring agreements. So we literally, our values, we provide coverage comparisons, and we really try to drive that home. But pre-COVID, the biggest claims we were having was social engineering and cyber crime. We were seeing high influx of, that's when someone is willing to assume the identity of a principal or owner of the business, email accounting, and say, hey, wire this money to such and such account. And they do that, and that's where the cyber or social engineering coverage comes in. Now, post-COVID, nobody was really prepared for 100% work from home. We kind of all have gotten thrown into, all right, we're using our own Wi-Fi, or do we have encryption? Are we using VPNs to get into servers? It's a whole different story for each company. So because we didn't anticipate it, there's just so much more vulnerabilities that hackers are trying to get in, whether it's through our home routers or elsewhere. So it's created quite a disruption. We haven't seen the market, I would say, typically harden yet there, but we are seeing carriers start to shift and wonder, okay, how is this going to impact cyber moving forward? And are we going to get new insuring agreements, because hackers are going to find new ways to disrupt our businesses here at home?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that even small businesses are saying, hey, you know what, it'll never happen to me. It's now is the time that a lot of businesses need to look over all types of coverages they have, general liability, property, and especially the EPLI, the employment practice liability insurance, all the professional policies that they have that go into and make up that whole portfolio of insurance. This is the time to look it over. Make sure you're up to date. You're hearing it firsthand from a guy that specializes in this. This is his company's works with agents like me to provide this service, and he sees it every single day that a lot of the businesses out there are not prepared for these attacks through cyber, or they just don't have the coverages there to help them through these tough times of hiring, rehiring, firing, all those different employment things. So it's one of those things. I appreciate you coming on here
Absolutely.
and giving your expert opinion and your knowledge. I mean, it's one of those things that until you hear it, you might not understand it or really think it's out there, but it's there, and it's a real thing for these businesses and business owners.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just wouldn't want to see everything you worked so hard for just wiped away by not having the proper coverage in place.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Drew. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no,
Everyone,
Ross. I mean, it's one of those things. I appreciate your time, and like I said, it's all about being proactive, not reactive. And Game On viewers, I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you got something out of it, and you can take these actionable steps back and think about it and say, hey, you know what? Let's go out and review our policies. And it's one of those things that it's a positive thing to make sure that you're in a good spot. So also, Game On viewers, let's make sure we're checking out the other small businesses. The big thing around Game On is promoting small businesses and making sure that people out there are getting out and supporting them. Be safe, everyone. Taras, once again, thanks so much for coming on Game On, and cheers, buddy. Appreciate it.
thank you. Drew Miller Insurance YouTube channel. Watch it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Bye.